Well, I'm super excited to be here. My name's Sean May. I'm the COO of IdealEstate, and I have Jack here with us as well. That is just an amazing, amazing person that I'm so glad that we met. And Jack, I'd like to let you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're at currently, who you're with, which brokerage, and kind of a little bit about your history.
Sean, thank you so much. It was great meeting you for the first time. About, I guess, a month ago, we had a big EXP conference out in Las Vegas. So that was awesome and really getting to meet some of the folks that you're partnered with. And again, yes, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Jack McPartlen. I work with EXP Realty. I'm based out of Massachusetts, but what I love to tell people these days is between the referral network we have with EXP and for me with IdealEstate, it's an amazing place to be when you can connect with folks all over the country. In this case with IdealEstate, over 1 million agents that I can connect with. With EXP, it's over 86,000 agents across the world now, not just in the US. So, for me, what I've learned in my career and going forward really is building off of that network of all the professionals and partners that we have in our lives, personally and professionally. And IdealEstate has done that for me in so many ways.
That's awesome to hear. And yeah, thank you so much for putting your trust in us as well for so long, because I know you've been with us pretty much since the beginning. Couple quick questions. So where are you currently at with your business? What does it look like right now? What are you focused on?
So this past year, it's been a fun year for me, working with a lot more seller clients these days. I'm also an EXP mentor. So the rewarding part of that is when either a new agent or agent that's been frustrated with their business, when you can help them build, and really, hit home on what build means, executing at a higher level, that has been so rewarding. I should also say I'm also a coach for youth sports. And, that's another element of this, of, what motivation is, what goal setting can do, and what team building can do to really, hit home for us as, if you're in the sense of being a family, and what that means as a professional and as a partner, like a business partner. So, these days it's been a fun year. Again, I think for me, though, the most valuable part is all the connections I have with newer agents or agent joining our teams these days. It's been a fun year.
And so how long have you been an agent? Kind of what got
Yeah.
you started in this industry?
So I've been an agent for 4 years now with EXP. Prior to that, I've basically been a safety manager for different corporations for over 20 years. So they call it environmental health and safety managers and programs. But I think for me, the wealth of being an agent is so rewarding in how many people's lives you can touch. If it's, finding their first home, finding a dream home for an investor buyer, finding the right portfolio, for an investor. And again, I think that detail of being like a past safety trainer, as I call myself, now being a mentor with EXP, it's really rewarding to be part of that type of team emphasis and team building.
How did you find Ideal Estate, or how did you get started with Ideal Estate?
So I think for me it was somehow I got a connection with Brody, and from there he basically was describing what this new platform was going to be, and in just that, it's been more than a platform. It's been a way to network and connect with agents across the country. For me, honestly, these days in my listing presentations, I note how I can share a client's listing, not just in Massachusetts where I live and cover, but across the whole US. And what that means is like every MLS, every agent that's tied to IdealEstate and the network that they have with their sphere of influences, it's really a powerful thing. So for me, I use it as obviously like a business connection of networking, but I've been able to share other agents' listings, share best practices, share just kind of common themes of things that we work on week to week to make our businesses better. And the value of that has been amazing. So I love being connecting with new agents, business like-minded agents and team building type of platforms, if you will, for all the agents that we've been meeting.
How do you have kind of like a daily routine that you do or daily tasks that have really been helpful for you?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting question. So for me and some of my new team members, we talk a lot about, how to get a day started. For me, that first part of the day, taking care of myself, if it's like doing some exercising, reading some affirmations, actually speaking out loud, right? Talking about affirmations to make a bigger impact in your daily routines. From there, really, I do use Ideal Estate each day where I'm finding new contacts, finding new agents just to connect with, from every detail of that potential of either for future referral business, right? For future, just sharing best practices, collaborating, that type of thing. I probably do, I don't know, if I connect with, say, 100 agents a day, if it's not like a goal, but if I, just networking with folks, I love to share other agents' listings. I think it's a powerful tool. And the way Ideal Estate is pulling the information off their local MLSs and just the professional looking imagery and pictures, it really is an amazing tool. Again, the element of sharing that with my clients and how much I can support their goals and share their listings through Ideal Estate is such a powerful tool. So I do use it daily, and the networking element of sharing listings. I'll also just say, just kind of connecting with people, like chatting about, say, sports or, our personal lives, just networking with folks has been pretty special.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I've always said that this really is truly a relationship business, that the fundamentals are connecting with other people and really learning about them, understanding them and their days and what's going on in their lives, because you never know, when a deal is going to happen. And if you just have the mindset and the goals to be able to reach out, to build those connections and truly, lend a helping hand wherever you can, you never know what's going to happen from it, but it's always just that positivity that you're bringing to not only your own self, but to everyone that you're connecting with.
Yeah, for sure. For
Awesome.
sure.
So if there was someone just getting started with Ideal Estate, what's kind of your recommendation, or what would you tell them, kind of the tips and tricks to get the most out of it?
Yeah, I think from like very importantly, just the networking part of it, connecting with agents, and just getting out there, asking them once you connect with someone, like, what are they doing in their business? What best practices, do they have, do they use? And then, for me, or, the dynamic of sharing what we do. And I think just that it's a genuine type of thing where you're trying to connect with folks, understand what they're doing in their business. And then, the point of, future referral business or partnerships, it's, just talking to those points as you build and grow. And again, these days, like, I swear, I think I have over 4,000 connections personally. With that said, I do share a lot, as much as I can, with other agents' listings, services, different things like that, just to help them build their business. I used to be part of BNI, and that structure of, givers gain, that concept of giving to others first, and then the rewards you get from the team building aspect and the connectivity is just amazing. So I've always had that in my kind of way of doing business, but Ideal Estate has brought that forward in so many ways.
How can we at Ideal Estate help you? What's the number one thing that if we could help you with, like could we do on our end?
Sure. I think just as you have done with building your business with all these agents to connect with all of us, I'll call them our future partners. I think for me is that dynamic of not just to serve my clients better, but as a mentor, how can I serve my my team and agents that are joining our team. I love that part of the business. It is so rewarding, and and again, to be part of Ideal Estate's network. That's, I guess, for me, is just to stay in tune with that and connected.
And what's your main goal for next year for 2023?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. From a personal level of, real estate sales, obviously, to help clients locally here in Mass and, primarily as a listing agent these days is really to help them. But I think that rewarding element of the team building aspect, sharing best practices, if I can help 1,000 agents on our team as we grow, that would be an amazing goal for me to be part of that. And again, mentoring and sharing best practices. What I've learned this past couple of years for branding wise,
Yep.
a lot of times if I know that someone is affiliated through some sports team, youth sports team, even general coaching aspect, if not just with the youth, part of this, but even coaching through like a, professional, like through real estate, that dynamic of what it means to be on a team and what it means to elevate all of us together. I think those are some of the building pieces that I want to continue to brand myself on. But I think that element of when people see me, almost like they know me as not just a sports coach, but a sports family realtor. I think that dynamic of being more connected to the community and not just being known as a realtor, but being someone, connected to the community, the local communities.
So you mentioned that you're a sports coach. How does that, we all pull different things in our life together. How does that really, help or benefit and affect you as a real estate agent?
Yeah, great question. I think from what I've learned is my youngest son is 13, and we just finished our tackle football season, which now he's 8th grade. And we went to the Super Bowl the last 2 years and won. What I've learned through this process of not just as a coach and seeing what these boys have done with their achievements in sports and now related to school, I think for me in developing and building my business and team is how that to set like a success plan in life, somewhat based in sports, but also the tie-in of, as I call it, a student athlete. And then in this example is with professionals and partners in life. How do you collectively put that all together? So set goals, set high goals, for yourself and for others around you. Exceed expectations, that element of, how can I exceed your expectations with, whatever we're working together on as a partnership. So I think all these elements of what I talk about with our newest agents and our team members, my son, the team, I always used to start off by saying at each season, now it's basketball. So we just started basketball season. I asked the boys to give me 3 goals, and I want them to write them down each week. The first goal has nothing to do with sports. It's what can they do to be caring and doing something nice for someone in their family, someone in the church, in their school. The second one would be school related. So if you get a math test this week, go kill it, right? Study as hard as you can to get that A in that test. And then the third one would be sports related. So if it's you want to get a touchdown this week for football, you want to get 10 points at basketball, or if it's a personal goal for lifting, running, whatever that may be, to get after it. And I think over weeks and weeks of routine like that can really develop to something very special.
Another question that I had is with your team and with all your group or organization that you're working with, what is the number one goal that you have for them, or what are the tools that you provide for them to really, kind of reach all their goals at the same time, reaching the goals, kind of like you've mentioned, of setting those goals as the number one priority. So what do you do, or what are those main points that you're really focusing on into the next year for that?
Wow, what a great question. And I think what I've learned, again, as a dad, as a coach, as a realtor, seeing that success plan, seeing that end result, what that success is, and enjoying that ride, right? Or that journey, like how, yes, we want to set and establish a goal, but along the way, it's learning, and it's, falling forward, with the boys in football. If you have a bad play, right, you got to get up and get after that next play. There's so many more plays and opportunities that you have in front of you. You always need to be thinking of that, because at the end of the game, you could have the best game of your career. And the young ages of these boys are just 13 now. And the way I look at this is they have 4 years of high school ahead of them, maybe college. When I think about new real estate agents, the careers that they could have in front of them. So kind of like setting that journey, those goals of what it's going to look like 5, 10 years from now. And then what things we can do now with goal setting to get there, right? To achieve those goals, but just being open to all that opportunity in front of us.
And what's the number one thing that's been the most beneficial for your business? What whether it's mindset, whether it's a specific tool, lead generation system or process, what's the number one thing that's really made a difference for you?
So this is interesting. I feel like the value of best practice sharing. I learned that years ago as a safety guy, as I call myself, growing up as in my career as a safety manager. And if you're trying to push a new subject, a program, a way of thinking, by pushing sometimes in life, that's not the best way of doing that, to really motivate someone, to get buy-in, to build a team around. But when you can pull, right, I guess in the element of asking questions, building understanding, building connectivity and relationship building, you can get so many more wins and success by doing that. So for me, learning those, early moments of my safety career, I apply that now in real estate and in my business, and it's been awesome. And I just love that part of it too, to see the wins from as a team grows together and builds together. And then really the direct result is our families, how that impacts so many positive things that can happen from that as well.
Can you give maybe a specific example on how, like you said, I mean, we have a terminology in the marketing, the push versus pull marketing on that side of it. So do you have an example that you've either used with team members or in your own business that's really worked for you?
Yeah. All right. So great example this year with the football team. I presented to a bunch of the boys on the defense side of football to challenge them. Whoever got a turnover in the next coming game, turnover either being a fumble recovery or interception, I would buy them a pizza. A simple gesture to say, "Hey, congratulations, great job." Well, guess what happened? There was 6 turnovers that week. So for me, I'm like, how am I gonna, get 6 pizzas to the boys, where I had honestly planned, just bringing the boys out for a hot pizza somewhere locally. But to make it all work, I ran up to Market Basket and got their favorite, what I believe was the Mike's Pizza, which is a pretty good pizza, and the boys love that. I think from learning that dynamic of throwing a challenge out there, but throwing the reward out there, right? And especially with boys, they just get so excited over, in this example of pizza. What a cool thing that happened there. And some of the follow-on discussions we talked with the boys about that was, in life, like, yeah, you set your goals, and that journey of success, and when you achieve those goals, you want to reward yourself. You want to feel good about what you're doing. So, I guess from a business perspective or future goal setting for the boys and student athletes, in general, is how to set goals where then you're going to reward yourself along the way. So then that second week, that third week, whatever you're challenging yourself on, you're just going to be like so fired up, right? You're going to be passionate about what you're doing and just really get after it.
So do you have a game plan, or let's just call it a cheat sheet, that you have for newer agents or agents that are just joining with your organization on that end of it, where you almost set kind of these goals and then those rewards? Do you have anything set in place like that you've used?
Yes, and actually it's I've always, my life, the best things about, as you develop your career and you develop, what you're trying to do in business, it's learning from others. It's learning from those coaches, those mentors in life, that help elevate us. And so these days for me, I use this system called the 30 Points of Success from a coach that I learned years ago from. So essentially, the different, I'll say, front end business building activities for a realtor, week to week. When you get certain points during the week, one example could be, getting a listing appointment and having that connectivity to, maybe have a relationship building and or get the contract signed, but whatever the point scale is that you get that appointment, it's basically giving yourself credit for that work. And then at the end of the week, looking back saying, wow, if I had 3 listing appointments and you had 10 points per, appointment, that's 30 points right there. And it's really about not only the result part, but then feeling good about it, right? I think in the real estate business, it can be tough. Sometimes it can be slow, but how do you, pick yourself up and get motivated again? And this way of doing it is like on a points-based type of theme, and then rewarding yourself for it at the end of, each week.
Absolutely. And like you said, that, sometimes it can feel like it's being slower. The market is changing right now. It's, whether it's going to change a huge amount, but I think every agent is at least seeing a shift compared to the last 2 years, which, I mean, that's how the market always is it's always changing and evolving, and you move with it. So when you have those daily activities, when you have that set up that, it's like, these are the 5 things that are going to continue pushing me forward, no matter what market we're in, then we can, like you said, you build out a point system. It's like, my goal is to reach 100 points this week, and using all of these different aspects. So I love that idea.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And again, these are the elements, the connectivity with IdealEstate. How do you connect with people, have those great conversations, team building conversations. How can I help? Just that simple conversations of how can I help you with your business or, whatever it may be. Even maybe a coaching element like that, using a point system to do a little bit better each week.
Anything else you would like to discuss, or any things on the top of your mind that you're like, I'd love to share this?
Yeah, geez, just off the top of my head, like we use KV Core for our lead generation system, and maybe not so like in depth of what that is, but maybe a higher level of sharing, how we do that lead generation piece. I know that's so important these days. I've had actually so many other agents I've been talking to, the importance of that. And in some cases, some brokers actually charge like 50% of a lead that they get to the office to that agent, and in my value point these days, if I can share a lead, and I would never charge them. EXP has our own way of revenue share and referrals, that type of thing. So I would just use that. But I think that message, that would be amazing to share that one, I'll call it free meaning it's your work. It's our time to use KV Core and other means to, generate leads, but 100% how we help one another. I call this like I piggyback. So if an agent posts they share their listing, I'll come up behind them either on LinkedIn. I could do it on IdealEstate, Facebook, wherever. Instagram, I use a bunch. If I can come up behind them and either comment, repost it, share it with different, either concentrated, where I think would be my buyers, like investors, or just broadcast it out to a general sense. That again, that avenue of trying to help others first. I've been sharing that with our other team members lately, just that dynamic to help them build business. It's really just once we get our shared listing, and then you share it with say 10 different sphere of influences based on those other agents, your potential for bringing in a buyer just grows so much. I probably spent like 45 minutes a night sharing listings, building squeeze pages, landing pages, that type of thing from KV Core. And there'd be some nights I go to bed, wake up the next morning, and I could have 20 leads that have come in just from that work. So then I'm digging through, like all excited. Okay, what is this person looking at? Is there a certain home, certain town, or they, if the dynamic was, if I couldn't get a hold of them that morning, trying to find out what they were looking for, because then I could build the market reports, the listing alerts, the search alerts, whatever they're interested in. I could build that into KV Core, and then it's all automated from there. So I think that level of detail of, it's one thing to do advertising, but then the follow up the next day and days to really connect with that future client and really what their needs are. Most folks, I'll say honestly, they're not ready to buy or sell right that moment. So it'll take a little time of just building that rapport, and in this case, building what they're looking for in the real estate market.
It's wonderful to have you here. I mean, it's been fantastic connecting on this. So thank you so much.
Sean, thank you so much. You guys are the best.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.